When I think of putting somebody in a dark room for 49 days,
Yeah.
I think they will go insane.
Oh, yeah.
What is the practice where, somebody will go into a cave and even, sometimes they even get walled up and they'll stay in there for, months or years?
Right. 3 years and 3 months and 3 days, we call the Losun Chusum. So that's for that month. Every day there's a 4 sessions, 2 in the morning, 2 afternoon, maybe 2-3 hours each or 1 hour. It doesn't, depend on what you practice.
I see.
But that's 2 in the morning, 2 afternoon, include evening. So you practice that, and that every day. After that longer one is the 49 days we practice, which is in the dark, completely dark.
Really?
Again, you practice every day, whole day.
When I think of putting somebody in a dark room for 49 days,
Yeah.
I think they will go insane.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah,
how do
that's
you?
what.
Yeah.
Absolutely, yes. Many in that level, somebody just meditating, you cannot go there. So what we do is we practice that, and then your teacher, your master will tell you when you're ready, psychologically, mentally, you're ready or not.
Wow.
If you're not ready to go there, and you become crazy, and when you're coming out, is you're psychologically damaged, so
Yes.
dangerous. So that's why we
Yes.
don't do that.
Like actual brain damage you can get
Yeah.
from that kind of isolation. So that is stunning, and this is one of the reasons why I'm so interested in Buddhism and Tibetan Buddhism, because you guys can do these extreme things that would hurt
Right.
normal Westerners, but
Right.
you come through. Not only do you survive, but you grow, you get better, you
A
get
little bit. Yeah.
bigger brains, you get this gamma wave, you get all sorts of amazing things happening. Have you done this particular practice yet, this 49-day darkness?
Yes. Yeah.
And what was it like?
I would like to do again, because the first, yes, it's a beautiful, wonderful, but when you experience something like you eat chocolate one time, you taste it, but you want it again taste. Sometimes you have challenges that maybe you don't know you are sleeping or you wake up. You don't know you're dreaming or you're not dreaming.
Wow.
And that's kind of challenging. But then my teacher comes and telling you, okay, now instruction. This is what you need to practice. And then you ask question exchanging from outside, teachers outside, but there's a home, like a no telephone, but there's a paper kind of home, and then you can communicate back and forth.
So you can ask some questions and get some guidance from your teacher
Exactly.
while you're in the. So that must be very reassuring.
Yes, reassuring. That's very important. This is all to do with your mind, whatever delusions. Also see like first completely dark, but even you don't see any object, but sees light. And that's what we believe is we are light. We have light inside, outside light.
If anyone just went into that room, would it be completely dark?
Right.
But after you've meditated, then it starts to get some light?
Yeah, more you meditate, and then slowly, either you are meditating or not meditating, you still see the light. And lighter, like lighter. Beginning is a dark, completely dark. But when you meditate, then you see more bright light. It's like almost like a sun shining. There's a sun shining or light behind, almost like a light behind you.
Really?
You don't see clearly like a sunlight, but there's light, bright light.
And so you could like see your hand if you lifted it in front of you?
You don't see it in my hand, but you can almost like you see it, but you don't see any object. It's strange kind, but some masters, they more than like 2 times, 3 times the dark retreat. Afterward, they can see the hand. They can writing even books in the dark retreat.
Really?
Yeah.
You can write a book in darkness from the light.
Light is there right now inside you, around you, and it's inside me, around me. Only problem is we don't see it. It's already there.
It's here now. It's a matter of seeing it.
Right now, exactly. But we don't see it because these lights around our external light too strong, also distracted by external light, inner light. Like almost saying like if you have flashlight, put it in the sun when it's sunny day, hardly you can see there's a flashlight,
Yes.
right? If there's no sun in the night, dark, now flashlight is very strong. Our light is already there, can be very strong, can see, but because distracted by external light.
In my experience, Tibetan Lamas are always very happy, no matter what's happening. It doesn't matter anymore what's happening in the world. They're just happy inside.
Yeah, exactly. Because to me, I think once you reach level of internally some kind of peace or joy, what are happening in the external things, my mind, I can more flexible. Either way, it doesn't frustrating or disappointment or I don't know. That's the to me is when more spiritual practice is can be flexible in the mind and then harsh, like
And this blends so well with psychology, where we think mental health comes from a flexible mind, and a resilient mind that can, doesn't get so knocked around by stress, but can kind of get this stable inner happiness. That has really impressed me about you and a lot of your colleagues, that you're very resilient people who can deal with stress quite well. You and your colleagues are pushing the level of human potential. Like if you can sit in a dark box and create light that you can write a book by, this is something astounding and blows away any of our kind of established scientific understanding of what humans can do. I mean, you're creating these powers, which to me, on the one hand, spiritually, maybe the magical powers aren't that big a deal, but on scientifically, the magical powers are a huge deal, because they say that the human being is much more than just this lump of flesh in the material world. The human being can interact at energetic levels and do amazing things like create light from the body. And this happens very dramatically, from my understanding. I haven't seen this, but when a very accomplished Lama dies and achieves the rainbow body, can you describe to me what happens when someone achieves a rainbow body?
Particular, according to my tradition called the Dzogchen, when the time comes die, then you die like a meditation. And still you are not really stop your heart and like completely died, still consciousness inside, the warmth is still there, it stays. Body sitting like this. And then if it doesn't disturb, people don't disturbing, just let's meditate on the silence. And then the body became light, shining. And then slowly body becomes smaller, disappeared into light. That's nothing left except the hair and nails behind. Nothing else, but everything dissolved into light. Entire body. And that's what many masters became enlightenment. Like in the West, Jesus Christ called the resurrections, they called, and that's into the light and they disappeared the body. And the same thing in that's only Jesus people in the West, but in the Tibet, there's 24 masters. For example, my tradition, 24 masters, one by one, they became rainbow body. They disappeared into light. I know right now saying, no way, what are you talking about? Because never see it. Doesn't mean that you never see that it exists. Anything, but that's what happened in generation. So basically, we come from light, remains in light, and goes back into light. And some is visible, some invisible, but this way is invisibly you gone into the light.
Completely. What a beautiful thing. And I have a hunch, I don't know, but I have a hunch that science eventually will catch up to this idea, and we'll be able to understand a physical body transforming into light and disappearing except for the nails and teeth.
Right.
We're probably 100 years away, but I have a hunch we're going to get there, because at least it's convincing to me that this has happened. And in your tradition that 24 masters have done this. Do you think there have been any more?
There's more before like that. But one my master 2 years ago who passed away in Tibet, and I saw him 2015, and then that's it. I haven't seen since then. But 2 years ago, he passed away when I was in Harakwa in Canada, and then he passed away. I know that day I'm going to contact him. Actually, he passed away before that, but that didn't announced. I think for 7 days they didn't announce because let him meditate sitting. He's finished. He's gone, but still he is meditating. Gone meaning is physically it's a like a Western and it's a died finished. But still meditating. The mind, the consciousness is still inside. He did, I think, 18 days. He was sitting like this. First, I think 1 week did, and then people meditate, go there, receiving blessings like that, to receiving. So that's just 2 years ago. To me, it's pretty close to processing of a rainbow body. That's happening like different monks, lamas, been, and Dalai Lama also want to check what happened like that with the scientifically what it is. But the scientific, they cannot understand right now. They're just exploring things like that.
That's
Don't
fascinating.
understand yet.
And so this, your teacher then, if I understand correctly, he meditated for 10 days with people around, and he came out and he talked a little bit, and then he went back into an 18-day meditation.
No. He died
Okay.
for finish, but his mind we call the tukdam means still meditating, still conscious, still he's meditating. In first, he told a student that I'm leaving, so coming and sitting there,
He told you he
and
was
then
leaving.
meditate together. Yes,
Wow.
he told, and then most important, some students there, and then he meditated and then he gone. But that means no breathing. Breathing is normal, but his mind consciousness is still there, and sitting like this for 7 days, and then his nephew thought maybe should people should our tradition is important to receiving blessing, that maybe people more affecting for people when they meditate with him now, and they did, and then after like still continues sitting like this, there's so many people coming there to see him and meditating with him, chanting like that. He doesn't disturb him sitting there. And then usually slowly people go, the head are going down. Once the head down, that's it. You finish. You do the meditation finished.
Isn't that something? So
Yeah.
physically,
So
he had died while sitting up, and then
yes,
it took a number of days for his head to slowly go down
right.
until the meditation was
So
over. Yep.
yes, what happened is there's no breathing, there's no heart beating, but there's the warmthness. Usually, body when the what do we call blood, heat, consciousness, they are together. Here, for example, I do this because I can feel that, because there's the feelings, because there's the blood, because there's the heat. But once I die, the consciousness is gone, and there's no heat anymore, becoming cold.
Yes.
And there's no more blood, even though I squeeze white and it comes back red. But once you die, then there's no red coming back anymore.
Yes.
So same thing when you consciousness is still there, body is still not cold, still warm, and then no breathing, no heart beating like that, but still is there, conscious meditating. That's what it is.
My God, that's so amazing.
Yeah.
So
Some
amazing.
people did sitting like that for months or year. They said like body usually smell comes, like usually if a person died, then smell coming out. But if you're meditating, there's no smell. Instead, even bad smell, incense can smell nice smell, like we call the tuzan, means good,
Good smell.
good smell. Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
Because when sign of enlightenment. So once if his meditation state finished, it means his consciousness eject finished, left from the body. So you don't complete your body become rainbow.
For people who want to get started, who are just struggling with quieting their mind, what would you recommend as the first meditation to begin with to help somebody who's just starting?
I would say you need somebody who have been meditation, who is qualified meditation training, and then you need somebody to teach you